Today, what we're going to work on is proper technique on how to cross logs that you will encounter in a hare scramble. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Leave me a comment and hit that notification bell. That way you can see all the awesome content that makes this 10 West Moto. Now normally you will come across small to medium-sized logs in the hare scrambles that we do here in Virginia. You don't really come in contact with things like this too much with the little triple stack of logs there. Doesn't look like much now, but once you get up to it, I guarantee it's 27 feet tall. Basically, what we really run into that we really want to focus on practicing when you're doing 15, 20 miles an hour through these trails and you come up to a log like this, make sure you get the whole thing. You want to make sure you're prepared on how to tackle it, how to get over it, so you don't have to take the route around it and lose precious time. Something that we've been working on for a while now, and it takes a lot of confidence for me, especially when we're in a race setting. We're in that mindset when you see a log to be prepared to cross it effectively and not lose balance, not slip, not fall over, and not make too many mistakes so you can keep the same momentum and not lose that time. So basically what we want to do and what we're going to practice on today is, and this is just how I do it. I'm sure Graham Jarvis has his own way to do it. I'm far from a Graham Jarvis level, but we're doing okay at log crossings and we can hit them in the races and not lose as much time, but I'm still not as confident when we're coming up to them. Kind of hesitate from time to time, and that's what I really want to get over. And that's what we're going to work on today is hesitation. So basically what we're going to do is first or second gear, we're going to come up to the smaller logs first. We're going to go over them. We're going to weight the suspension. We're going to de-weight, and believe it or not, you can slip a Rekluse clutch. We have a Rekluse Z-Start Pro in this bike, and you can slip it. You will burn up your clutch plates doing it. I've done it twice already in one race season, but you can slip it to where you can fine tune and catch the rear wheel just like a regular clutch. Don't believe everything everybody else says about Rekluse. You can't slip them. You can definitely slip them. I do it all the time. Sometimes if the log is too big, like you're gonna see when we do the triple log setup right here, our front tire will come off the top log, which will compress and decompress the suspension just a little bit and just enough to push us over it, catch the rear wheel, and continue forward. With the smaller logs, like the single ones that are just on the ground, that are obstacles that are put in the way during these races, 99% of the time is what we're going to see out there. Basically all we can do, or all we want to do, is loft the front wheel over them, carry the momentum to where the back tire catches and pushes where we have a soft, safe landing. Our suspension does all the work and we just keep on riding. Let's see what we can do. Obviously, we're not doing 15-20 miles an hour. We're going slow enough, high first, low second, still really sketchy because you can't really get as much torque to the rear wheel to loft the front wheel over without really trying to bounce on the suspension. So the goal here is technique. Generally, we only do 1 or 2 log crossings per race, so it's not something that we focus on too much, but we really need to. We got the little ones out of the way. We're pretty comfortable with them. The bike feels really good. Suspension feels great. Now, I think we're going to try and tackle the little triple stack over here, the 76-foot tall log section. No kidding. It looks small now. When you run up to it, it's at least 300 feet in the air. So we'll probably clear the treetops and be able to get a pretty good view while we're up there. These are a lot more difficult, mainly for confidence level, and you have to remember, I have to remember especially, to squeeze a lot with your legs. You really want to hang onto the bike, because if not, I've crossed these logs before the first few times and actually had my knees smack into the handlebars while coming down on the landing, because it does this to you. With the way we cross them, we have not tried to loft the front wheel, keep the front wheel up, and then jump the back. What we do is loft the front wheel, let the back hit, and let that push us over. It's, for me and my skill set, it's difficult, but it is doable. And the more times I do it, the more confidence I get, the easier it's going to be when we encounter the small logs, like these single logs, in a race setting. If you can jump over these 376 tall logs and see over top of the treetops and not have a problem, single logs during a race will be no issue. Your body positioning, that is another key to this, which we are still really trying hard to figure out. I have not been taught any of this stuff. This is just what I have figured out by wrecking a lot trying to cross these logs. So body positioning, you basically want to stay dead centered, hovered over top of the gas tank, and let the bike, once you pop the front wheel up, kind of do whatever it needs to do. So this is all we're trying to do here with moving our legs with suspension. This right here, like you're rowing a boat. Whoa.
Don't run me over. Quiet on the set.
So I don't know if you guys can tell, but once we got the front wheel over the triple stack logs, we gave it a little extra throttle just so we can make sure our back end pushed us over the rest of the logs. We need to fine tune everything, but if another thing I wanted to mention to you guys is once we went over the triple stack logs a few times, we came back around to the smaller logs. It was a non-issue. We didn't even really think about it. So it was it's a confidence builder basically. So the more we can do the big logs, the more comfortable we can get with them. The smaller logs, especially in a race setting, which is the whole reason why we're doing this, is a non-issue. We'll get to the point to where we don't even think about it. We're just bloop right on over them and continue on with the race. Things like this are extremely important, especially when you're trying to place well during a race, which overall is what you want to do. You enter a race, you want to do well. So if we can continue to push outside of our comfort zone, like I've always tried to do on these bikes, and get more comfortable and confident on big logs and big log sections, little logs, no problem, we'll go right over them and can hold our place and possibly get a spot ahead during a race. Something else I wanted to mention is we're not just out here practicing on the bike and doing log hops and going for leisurely rides. When we do go ride, we're still trying to push outside of our comfort zone because that's the only way we can get better. We're riding with guys that are fast, we're trying to keep up, we're trying to pass them, and vice versa. So I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors for the 2020 race season: O'Neill, Recluse, Risk Racing, and Charles City Dirt Riders for all their support, their gear, their help, their clutch, everything that they have to do to help us out in the 2020 race season. I really appreciate all you guys. Check them all out. They have some really awesome gear to help you out to make life a little easier when you're out there racing. I really appreciate all you guys' support and your help for this next race season, and we will get some podium finishes. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you practice these log crossings, especially if you're racing. If not, it only helps benefit you and your technique and your skill set and your confidence. Until next time, I'm Ten West Moto, and I'll see you on the starting line.
Yeah, but most of the bike's cut out. Did you need the bike in it?
Well, like some.
It says 10 West Moto. You can see that.
So today, today, Recluse clutch. We have a Recluse Z-Start Pro. It's on the backside. Slip the clutch a little bit, give it some throttle. And you come up to a log like this, that one. Keep the same momentum that you were doing.
Momentuming.
And continue forward. That's what it does. You watch. It's gonna right on. Yeah. Shut up.